Hello, everyone. Thank you for stopping by. This is Ganapati here. Today, I'm going to talk about kids' sensory issues, specifically hearing sensory issues. So, how do you identify that your kid has sensory issues? So, let's say, for example, you have been using a vacuum cleaner at home, and when you start the vacuum cleaner, probably your kid could have shown a discomfort or start to cry. So that is a sign that your baby is going through a sensory issue. It can be a vacuum cleaner or a kitchen appliances like a blender, mixer grinder, or even some like power tools like driller and etc. So any noise generated by these kind of appliances or tools can disturb your kids' audible sensitivity. So that is actually the early sign that you should notice that they are going through some kind of a sensory development issue. So usually a normal kid do not, they probably get scared of this sound the first time or a couple of times when they hear this. And over time they recognize the sound and they're not going to be scared of it anymore. But there are kids who always show discomfort for these kind of noise and they be cranky. That is actually the thing you need to notice. If you see that this keep happening, that's actually this early sign of development delay. So probably you might have take your kid to the pediatrician to check your kid's health growth state and development metrics. But being a doctor and a therapist are good to be followed. But other than that, as a parent, how can you help your kid to go through their delayed development? So every kid usually develop in their own phase. On an average, science has documented an average growth for kids, but there are kids still don't keep up with that average speed. So they might be still delayed or they may be late bloomers. So in that state, their sensory organs, especially the hearing sensory organs, are not fully developed or they're not fully calibrated, ready to handle all the noise and frequencies, audio frequencies. So, yeah, there are certain things we can do to help your child. If your child is below 2 years old, probably you cannot really do much. All you can do is try to keep your child away from loud noise or noise that is very sensitive to your baby. But if your kid is about 2 years old and are able to interact or able to understand some of the interaction with parents, then probably you can teach them some tricks to get away from these noise. And over time, they will develop immunity to those sound by when their system got fully developed. Let's say your kid is 2 years old and capable of following some of the instruction that given by parents. So in that case, this tip that I'm going to tell might help you. So let's say you have a vacuum cleaner and your kid is not comfortable with the vacuum cleaner noise. So if that is the case, you need two adults at home probably, or another person who's willing to operate the vacuum cleaner at a safer distance away from your child and you. And you have to hold your kid's hand, standing probably behind your kid, and then try to close your kid's ears and hold it close so that your kid won't hear the noise as strong. And then when you loosen their ears, and they would start to hear the noise from vacuum cleaner. So start slowly introducing this on a daily basis, like a few seconds or like no, maybe like 10 seconds or something like that. So by closing the ears, the moment you start the vacuum cleaner, you start next to the kid by closing. by taking the kid's hand and close his or her ears while the vacuum cleaner is running, and then loosen it up, take it out, and then close it. Do it few times, so your kid will understand that closing the ears will reduce the noise, um, the sensitivity that they are sensing in their nervous system. So that way, when they learn that they can close their own ears when there is a disturbing noise, that helps them to keep the noise under control when it's not audible. So they have a control to control the noise by themselves by limiting their hearing ability. So, but will it this continue forever? No. So the kids usually grow up and they start building immunity to the sound by their system. The sensory issues will disappear over time when their system start to develop well, and they are matured and calibrated for certain noise. So at that stage, they wouldn't be closing their ears. They would probably um, okay with those kind of noise or sound because they build the tolerance against it. But there is a bit of a downside for this tips, because some kids, when they start to hear noise, they would close their ears, and the noise is gone. They would not even notice that the noise is not there anymore because they are closing their ears. So when you call the kid, probably a kid will not be able to hear because the kid is keep closing their ears. So that's a side effect on this. So you got to understand the situation here to tell your kid not to hold it for long. Maybe you have to train it in a way that they won't hold their ears forever, or you have to be in front or sign that it's everything is okay to put their hands down. And that way, they will have control on certain noise that they cannot handle, because we would not know what is the individual kid's audible ability. So only they can tell whether it is something they can handle or it's something too much. So if it's too much, they can easily close their ears. And all we need to teach them is they should release their hands in a frequency of time, like maybe in a few seconds or maybe 10 seconds after, to make sure that the noise is gone. If the noise continues, they can close the ears further for some time to keep checking that if the noise is gone. That was a little bit of a help. You can help them because you cannot completely take them away from these appliances or noise, because they would never build the immunity against the noise, and it can get worse because noise will be all over the place. So they should build strength against it. So this could help, I believe. So give it a try, and it will take some time. Some kids will develop in a fast phase, maybe in a year or two they develop their sensory system, and they should be fine after that. And some kid can take longer. It depends totally on their genetics. And this is also, as I said before, this is also an early sign of their development delay. That means it can be a learning delay, speech delay, any kinds of everything can be delayed. So you got to watch out for those things and see how you can help your kids in various stages while they are developing in a slow pace. So I believe it's helped you. So if you like this tips, please give me a thumbs up. I hope your kid will develop their sensory system. And thanks for watching.